A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome you all to the shortlisted nominees presentation forum for the SLIA Awards for Architect 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, to commence the proceedings of the evening today, it's my pleasure to call on the President of SLIA, Architect Rohana Bandara Herath, to deliver the welcome speech.
Good evening, everyone. My council colleagues, Architect Tampain, dear past presidents, dear colleagues whose projects have been shortlisted today. I am very glad to address you in this evening, in this very important event under the valuable sponsorship of Nippon Lanka. As a president of SLIA, it is my duty to welcome you in this evening. First, I would like to welcome our chief guest, as well as our international juror, Architect Tampain. She is a very close friend of SLIA, especially among a group of architects who always join with Arcasia and UAE activities. She's one of the past president of Malaysian Institute of Architects, and also the past president of Arcasia, and also she was the past general secretary of UAE. I am telling this because there are youngsters in the audience, so they must know who you are, madam. And also, I wish to welcome our jury. I don't want to mention their names. Chairman, Senior Vice President, and one of our past president and renowned architects were serving always our awards jury. I wish to welcome you all. I know during past 4 days, you are involved with physical site inspection, going around the country with a lot of commitments and dedication. So we have to appreciate your courage and effort on behalf of SLIA. And also I must welcome our architects, shortlisted nominees. So I can see we have received about 50 to 60 submissions this time, out of which our jury has shortlisted about 16 creations done by our architects. That is not an easy thing. So we wish to note that your dedication to come out with your creativity and forward your application to SLI. I must also welcome our sponsors, Nippon Lanka. They are our strategic sponsor in this time also in our annual sessions. So we wish to welcome Nippon team in this important evening. I can see head of the school of CSA and some of the senior architects and young architects also. So I wish to welcome you all as well. Before I conclude my welcome speech, I want to mention something. When I got to know about shortlisted entries, I noticed there are only 2 architects who are in my age. All the other architects are very young. A lot of architects are very young. I'm very happy to see some of my students also in the audience. So, to see that, I'm extremely happy as the president of SLIA. So with that, I would like to conclude my welcome speech while congratulating all shortlisted nominees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Rohana Bandara Herath, the President of SLIA, for warmly welcoming us all. And with that, I would like to invite Architect Dilumini Dimel, the Senior Vice President of SLIA and the Chairperson of the Awards Committee, to give us an introduction of today's evening.
Good evening all. President, SLIA, Architect Rohana Bandara Herath, and council members, our distinguished judges, including Architect Tang Pei-ing, our international juror, Architect Hiranti Velandava, Architect Jayantha Perera, Architect Sumudu Atukorla, and Architect Shayan Kumaradas. So I'm happy to announce that we together received almost 50 submissions as awards this time, 2023-2024, and we have shortlisted 20 out of that as nominee to do the nominee presentations today. The SLIA Annual Award serves as a platform through which the Institute encourages its members to showcase their creativity. As in the past, the Annual Awards 2024 has been resounding success. So the Council of SLIA wishes to encourage the young members, not so young members, both parties, to showcase your projects by taking part in this competition, awards competition, and make use of the opportunity given to platform your projects to the general public. So I hope you all, those architects who have not submitted any awards this time, maybe next time, you will be encouraged by looking at these marvelous designs, and so that you will make use of this opportunity which SLIA annually present to you. We, as President mentioned, we visited last few days, all judges, we visited the sites from Jaffna to Vaunia, Kandy, Galle, Negombo, all over. And we saw these beautiful buildings done by our talented architects. Actually, as the Senior Vice President who is in charge of this awards committee, he's the chairperson of the awards committee, I'm very proud to see those projects, that how talented our architects are. So we have to showcase that and encourage you, those who have not used this opportunity, to encourage, to showcase these, your projects, your beautiful projects, and encourage the government also as a whole. Actually, the jurors were also impressed by going around and talking to you and visiting your sites. And I noticed that all of you who spoke with the jurors, you all were very happy to explain leisurely your project. Today you're given a very limited time to explain your project, but you got the opportunity to explain and meet our international judge, who is very much worth getting to know. So I think that was a very good opportunity that all of you got in order to get to know a distinguished person like Architect Tan Pei. While congratulating all shortlisted nominees, I would like to express my profound gratitude and appreciation to our international juror, Architect Tan Pei, for her invaluable presence and expertise, and our local jurors for helping SLIA to make these decisions, and their commitment and time. And also, I would like to express my gratitude to all those who have assisted in this activity. My colleagues, the technical committee, the awards committee, SLIA staff, including GM and SLIA staff, Mr. Asmi, and everybody who assisted us to make this reality. Thank you all for being part of this wonderful event. I wish you the best of luck in your presentations. Please enjoy the presentations.
Thank you very much, Architect Dilumini Dimel, for that comprehensive introduction for today's evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a short video presentation from one of our sponsors for today's evening, Nippon Paints Lanka Private Limited.
"140 years in, and we continue to fill the world with color. Our innovation has sparked opportunities and brightened lives. It all starts with groundbreaking research at our world-leading facilities and the synergy of our diverse Nippon Paint Asia family. We're proud of how we have worked hand in hand to emerge as Asia's #1 paint and coatings manufacturer. Through it all, we have fulfilled our brand promise to innovate with heart and celebrate our people, the beating heart of everything we do. So we empower them with the skills they need to truly soar. And we envision a future where people and the planet can thrive together. We dream big and in bold technicolor. So we go beyond producing coatings to light up as many lives as we can. Our coatings have transformed motor vehicles all over the region, and they keep industrial powerhouses running smoothly and efficiently, and provide environmentally responsible protection for maritime vessels. Durable and weather resistant, they help architects and developers bring their visions to life. We innovate ahead of the game with products that protect us in today's new normal and lay the foundations for a safer future. We also give our consumers more than paint, offering them design services that truly turn a house into a home. We are Nippon Paint. We harness the brilliance of innovation because we
are inspired by you.
With that, on behalf of SLIA, I would like to extend our gratitude to our sponsor, Nippon Paints Lanka Private Limited, for their support and for making this event a success. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'd like to move on to the keynote session of this evening, to the presentations by the shortlisted nominees, where they will enlighten and broaden our perspective on their own design theories, concepts, design philosophies, and the strategies that they have been followed. Without further ado, I'd like to move on to our first shortlisted nominee for today, architect Manoj Champika, nominated for Design Awards with the project titled Haritha Retreat. Before I invite him on stage, let me do a brief introduction about him. Architect Manoj Champika, after obtaining his Bachelor of Architecture Honours degree from Faculty of Architecture in University of Moratuwa, he has worked under the guidance of several senior architects for many years. And he has gathered a vast experience in the field through these architects. In year 2011, he became a chartered architect, and since then, Manoj Champika established his own practice and serves to a variety of clients to suit their distinct needs. Welcome on stage, architect Manoj Champika.
Hi, very good evening to you all. I'm architect Champika. Let's start my presentation, Haritha Retreat. Yeah. Okay. Haritha Retreat is a private residence that designed accordance with the client's personal need, contextual force. And this house was designed for an extended family. The house is in the congested residential hub in the city of Papiliana. The site is 35 per plot that stretches on uneven terrain with its boundaries demarcates with a haphazard laid out neighborhood of houses. The existing context and the neighborhood determined the approach of the design. Accordingly, here we try to create views within the site while shrouding off the poorly laid out and constricted concrete jungle of houses and buildings beyond the site, which became a catalyst for the design. As the site itself was uneven and sloping, in with the drastic level difference of 5 feet, this was premeditated into an advantage by creating an entrance path decorated with blued tightly knit trees. a meticulously planned mess of mini forests that leads to a simple yet sophisticated entrance lobby. All this is sitting 5 feet above the rest of the main spaces. With the approach which above mentioned, we identified the ability to get views to a centralized space and get forestscape views within the site, blocking the outside view. When we come to the planning of this project, what we're trying to do is major spaces like living and dining areas, we open out to this centralized space. If you go further into detail, you can see the living area and dining area visually connect with the centralized space. These entire windows allow the living and dining spaces to expand onto the pool deck area for an event or a nice gathering. Eventually, I created this central space as more like a celebrating space than the other spaces. Dining rooms lay side by side with the living room, with no physical separation while sharing the pool view with the living one side. It also faces a narrow strip of an internal courtyard along its stretch from the other side. When we come to the upper floors, we discover a thoughtful arrangement of private spaces crafted to suit various needs. The master bedroom, as well as other bedrooms, stand out with its simple and minimalistic design for relaxation and renewal. From this space, also can get the visual connection to the centralized space. In addition to the major spaces, there is a TV lobby and kids work area and recreational areas like maker space and a game area. In these spaces, we create a kind of very cozy environment. The well-designed courtyard, balconies, where play with the light and shade, and nice roof terrace with lush greenery provide additional spaces for the relaxation and connection with the nature. They also contribute to making a home more livable. This is the material palette. A thoughtful arrangement of spaces in the house creates a harmonious living experience that captives the eye and enriches daily life. In conclusion, as a residential house is more than a structure, it is a testament to thoughtful design. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Architect Manoj Shampika, for your presentation. And with that, I would like to invite our second shortlisted nominee, Architect Chamira Fernando, nominated for Design Award for the project, The Office Interior of Ocean Needs Private Limited. Before his presentation, I would like to do a brief introduction about him. Architect Chamira Fernando completed his architectural education at City School of Architecture and received a master's degree from the University of West England in UK in year 2017. Chamira was the first recipient of the CSA Student of the Year Award in 2018, and he holds the membership of SLIA and the Royal Institute of British Architects as well. Chamira started as an architectural intern at SW Architects in year 2011 and subsequently worked at ACS Integrated Private Limited, Dinuk Senanaik Associates, and currently hold the position of Chief Operating Officer at ARC International Private Limited. In year 2020, Chamira established his own architectural consultancy firm, Spaces Architectural Studio, a purpose-driven architectural practice with a minimalistic and elegant expressive architectural approach that harmonizes seamlessly with the natural environment. Welcome on stage architect Shamira Fernando for your presentation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So basically, this is office interior for Ocean Needs Private Limited, which is a corporate interior project down Alfred House Avenue in Colombo 3. And the approximate area of the site, the project was around 900 square feet, and then it accommodates 20 staff among the other facilities. The overall project duration was around 3 months, out of which about 45 days was for construction, and the remaining 45 days was for planning and client approvals and things like that. So I'll just quickly take you all through the design process. This is basically located in the 4th floor of C-Line Holdings building. And like I said, the area dedicated for this project was around 90 square meters. So it's relatively a small space, and it's basically accessed from a shared corridor. This particular floor plan, if you look at it, it's a shared floor plan. So there is one office here, and this is the site that was dedicated for our project. And so the existing condition was such that there was a lot of partitioning in the space. And due to this various odd-shaped partitions, I think there was a lot of clutterness in the site. So resulting in efficient space planning and losing a lot of space for circulation, et cetera, which resulted in having 10 number of workstations. So the client was, at one point, was stuck with expanding this facility because they already had this other office on the other side. So that's when we started this project, where our strategy was to basically keep the planning as open as possible, and just to have in case the spaces that only requires a certain enclosure. So which resulted in having the meeting room and the CEO's room in tempered glass cubicles, and the rest of it was basically open plan. And the CEO's room was also strategically planned in a central area of the office so that he had the visibility of the entire office. And the other thing was now from the earlier setup to the new design that we did, we increased the capacity of the office from 10 to 20 staff. So there we had a bit of a concern because the ceiling heights were very low, and there was only about 8 feet clearance in this particular floor due to services and various other reasons. So what we did was we retained the ceiling that was there for the meeting room and the CEO's room, and we got rid of the ceiling in the other areas, gaining about additional 2 feet volume into the main space, so that the office, the staff didn't feel uncomfortable with a lower ceiling space. Then we just added a small ceiling here, a small timber strip ceiling at the entrance, just to make it a bit more welcoming, and also to make the entrance lobby a little cozy. This is the simple plan of the space. So this is where you enter, overlooking the lobby area, with the timber screen at the back, which separates the office area and the lobby, and then the meeting room and the CEO's room is located on that side. And we planned our circulation into a central access, so we minimize the space that we use for circulation and optimize the space that's usable. Like I said, this is just to show that how we use the existing ceiling in the meeting room areas, and gain additional space for the office area. Similarly, the timber strip ceiling and the timber screen that's used here to sort of encase the lobby area and to demarcate the lobby. And on the other hand, this company has it's a maritime company, so their operation is working with several ports. So what we did was, on this particular wall, we incorporated a set of clocks of the ports that they operate in, so that everybody has a vision of that. And yeah, little things like when we retain this ceiling, we introduce small niches like that. You can see here, so that even though it's a tempered glass cubicle, we introduce the drop-down blind where they can use it for privacy if there's a meeting and so on. But when it's opened out, it's basically encased within this space so that there is visibility throughout. There is no obstruction between the meeting room and the common area. So, okay, moving on to the actual photographs of the site. This is basically looking at this is basically taken from the entrance, looking towards the lobby. This is the ceiling that I was talking about, which gives a sense of direction, and also the screen at the back gives you an encroach into the lobby space. And it's a relatively small office, so we have a very small lobby where we have used 2 smile chairs in the lobby and a abstract world map as a backdrop on one side, and a bit of greenery with a planter and on the other side, so it gives a bit of privacy from the office staff area to the lobby. This is looking at the meeting room from the entrance, and this is the interior of the meeting room, where again we selected the teal color based on this naval operation that they have. And if you look at it from here, we try to continue this language of having greenery on this side into the meeting room as well, as you can see in this particular image. Then moving on, this is the main office area. So basically just outside, this photograph is taken just outside the meeting room, looking at the far end of the office. And these are the clocks that I was talking about earlier. This is a standard workstation. So in the meeting room, as well as in the standard workstations, we try to use a high gloss white finish, simply because the space is very tight, and we wanted to reflect the light off the table so that it gives you, it enhances the space. And but at the same time, we try to continue this language with timber also on the furniture as well. So this is basically from the far end of the office, looking at the entrance. That's the rear side of the entrance lobby. And one interesting fact about this duct is when we opened up the ceiling, we realized that we had not planned to upgrade the MVAC services as much. So there was very limited budget that we anticipated initially for this upgrade, but these ducting were done over 20 years ago, so it needed some serious refurbishment. So we looked at several options. We looked at replacing the duct, which was too costly. We looked at cladding it with a different material that was also out of the budget. Then finally we did some experimental stuff where we did spray paint over it, which also failed. And the last solution that we came up was with this material not meant for duct cladding, but meant for shoe padding. So that was a material that we selected finally, and then we did a bit of testing with the material. We did some samplings, we tried out some samples, and it came out pretty decent. So just selected this image to showcase the material palette that we used. It's a very small interior, but this image captures pretty much all the materials that we have used. So there is timber, there is carpet tiles, painted finish on certain walls with tempered glass and titanium cut cement finish on the wall. So this is the basic finish. And finally, I think we had the vision for this project, but I think the client and the contractors and the suppliers involved also aligned perfectly with our vision to bring the outcome that we wanted. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Shamira Frana, for that interesting presentation. Moving on to our next shortlisted nominee, we have Architect Lalit Gunadasa, nominated for the Design Award for the project, The Bloom Saffron. Before I welcome Architect Lalit Gunadasa on stage, let me give you a brief introduction about him. Architect Lalit Gunadasa is a graduate from University of Moratuwa, who was trained as an architect under Sri Lankan veteran architect Vinod Jayasinghe, who had worked with Jeffrey Baba in his young age. On receiving his charter in 2011, Lalit established his independence practice in year 2012. And the studio is now located in Hokandara, Sri Lanka. His award-winning practice worked and is working on a variety of projects, thinking out of the box in his design process. He follows a much diverse vocabulary to manipulate the ideas beyond the most practical and the accepted framework, and indeed responsible for achieving sustainability in designs and maintaining a vital balance and harmony which is necessary for the coexistence of man and nature. Welcome on stage, Architect Lalit Gunadasa, for your presentation.
Good evening, everybody. The Bloom Saffron at Nigambu, a single-storied general house done in 1990s, was renovated to a guest villa. As you know, Nigambu is mainly a tourism-based area. That's why we decided to do this transformation into a guest villa. The old house was so cluttered, gloomy, and didn't happen the natural ventilation very well. And also, before alteration and addition, total buildable building area was 3,580 square feet, and total land extent was 55.5 perch. After the transformation, for the total area was 4,640 square foot. Mainly leaving out the weaknesses of the old building and inspired by the traditional Sri Lankan vernacular style, we gave a uniqueness with a value additions to the property. Without doing major changes to the original structure, we changed few walls and openings in some area. But we have done some additions such as car porch, center courtyard, additional attached toilets, pool changing rooms, and 2 corridor verandas in the front and back to match the new purpose. Most of the original roof material we reused, and few doors and windows also. Not only the doors and windows, most of the timber of the original we use. Both eaves ends of the original design we extended to protect from the rain in the monsoons period. Because of the newly introduced white colored flexboard flat and striped ceiling could maintain proper lighting quality and the simplicity of the interior. When we consider color, we use yellow shaded buttermilk color for the all walls. Yellow is often considered the brightest and most energizing of the warm colors. It's associated with happiness and sunshine. And most of the screens, fittings, doors and windows, we colored with ocean green color. All those enhance quality of energy and growth. That's why we use name as the Bloom Saffron. You can see how it's transformed the renovation work. Gardens can't be separated from our design. Always we are trying to combine interior and exterior as one by several green design elements that was enhanced through wide openings, vistas, and arrangements. Finally, because of all these factors, we could create a simple, lush, tropical, live and tranquil atmosphere to relax. There's a very small video clip. Please enjoy it. Thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity to share one of our projects in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Lalit Gunadasa, for that interesting presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, now we have our next shortlisted nominee for the Design Awards category. Architect Nimantha Nanakkara, nominated for the Design Awards with the project titled Module 47. Before I invite him on stage, let me do a brief introduction about him. M47 is an architecture firm under the partnership of architect Nimantha Nanakkara and architect Sapuni Hettiarachchi. After graduating from Morato University, Nimantha worked for Ironcast Chartered Architects, while Sapuni worked for SSG Associates until they start their own practice. M47 Architects, the firm, focus on modular forms and the creation of layered fabric merging the building and the unbuilt environment. The M47 residence is a reflection of this, considering this philosophy into a small, compact form. I would like to invite Architect Nimantha Nanakkara on stage to do your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Module 47 is a container home with an area of 430 square feet located in Hokandara. This project is about our house, and we've been living here since Jan 2023. The intent of the project was to explore the potentials of compact living, seeking freedom from preconceived notions of a house. The design started at the beginning of COVID, needing a practical solution to keep up the construction. The land slopes towards the road, and the focal point is an old kaju tree growing in the center, covered by vine. The design is derived through layering. The built layer is between the green canopy and the ground below, letting natural life continue undisturbed, gives a unique freedom to experience nature. The 3 levels are linked by stairs. The first level is given for parking and the services. The second level creates a gathering space for visitors, sheltered by a green canopy. The third level is the house and the core of the design. A deck serves as a transition space to the house, creating another layer of living, a space for entertainment and relaxing. The container is cut open on the sides, facing the tree. The facade facing the road has limited openings for privacy and to block the evening sun. From the deck, you can see movement in the kitchen and the living space. The kitchen connects to the study, which is a part of the larger living space. The bed is placed centrally, facing the tree, with the closet and the storeroom on one side and the study on the other. Seated at the study, you can see into the kitchen and over to the canopy outside. A narrow walk-in closet open into the bathroom. Seated on the toilet, you have a viewpoint to the greenery outside. There's an awareness of life inside and outside, regardless of your position within the house. The building services are concentrated at the ground floor to maximize serviceability. The full height cupboards enclose the electrical systems, plumbing access points, and garden tools. The house is powered by an off-grid solar system, supplemented by main grid. Smart cameras offer security in the absence of boundary walls. The clarity of the design is maintained by the choice of materials. The container and the supporting structure are painted in black to further differentiate the built space from the landscape. Yet there's warmth and lightness achieved in interiors through the use of pine wood and white walls. The building system is discarded shipping container, where the main structure could be built off-site and easily transported for assembly. The nut and bolt construction of the structure, comprised of 6 steel columns, reflect the temporary nature of the design. The innate form of the aged container is left as it is to celebrate its spirit. A 3-foot extension is fabricated alongside from the remaining container cutouts. A sharp square of pine wood carved into a solid wall of cupboards is seen in the kitchen and in the closet. This creates a contrast of colors and textures that celebrates the activity that defines the space. Storage is accommodated throughout the house, optimizing available space, including drawers under the bed and cupboards inside partition walls. Surfaces and ceilings are easy to reach, balancing practicality with comfortable human proportions. The house remains in harmony with the landscape, contrasting yet complementing the natural surrounding. Because of the layering in the design, the original movement patterns of wildlife are undisturbed. During the cashew season, bats and parrots frequent the tree, and porcupines wander the land at night. The residence has a small footprint, condensing the core areas of a house into a compact space. This reduces the use of resources and increases efficiency. It also simplifies the maintenance for the occupants. The containment of the built volume does not affect the freedom of living. The perception of a house expands beyond its physical boundaries, extending to the natural landscape, becoming a part of a greater habitat. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Nimantana Nayakkara, for that inspiring project presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have our next shortlisted nominee for our evening, architect Palinda Kannangara, nominated for the Design Award. With the project title, The Courtyard. Before him doing his presentation, let me do a brief introduction about him. Architect Palinda Kannangara has a background in both mathematics and architecture. As a student in his architectural career, Palinda has trained with architect Anura Ratnavibhushana. The firm Palinda Kannangara Architects was established in 2005, and his practice is known for experimental architecture that hinges on simplicity and the connection with the natural environment. And also, the firm has been the recipient of several prestigious national and international awards in its 18 years of practice. And also, most recently, he won the RIBA International Award for Excellence 2021 and for their project Artist Retreat at Pittugala, and also won the 5th Triennial Jeffrey Barber Award for the Excellence in Architecture 2020-2021 for their projects The Frame Holiday Structure at Imaduwa. Also, the firm's work has been featured in the recent AI Kroc Monograph 212. Welcome on stage, Architect Palinda Kannangara, for your presentation.
Good evening. This project is located in Koramangala in Bangalore in India. So we started designing this project during the COVID time and ended up in the last year, mid of 2023. And my client is actually an urban designer, and she runs a social space called Courtyard. And her husband is an entrepreneur, and for her 2 daughters. So the brief was very simple. He just want to make a very simple living or a house that they want to celebrate the cultural festivals and want to be like a gathering space for everyone and want to have a memorable space for the kids. So that's a brief. There's nothing much. And then they want to have their parents one room for the ground stairs. So we started with the understand the context and wanted to design for the Indian style or a flavor of the location. So we're trying to absorb that, and again we are trying to understand for the vernacular architecture, what the historical architecture, how it works in that context with the weather and then the lifestyle. And you can see there are some examples. I'm just showing you. It's a very beautiful Tippu Sultan Palace, summer palace actually. So it has a double veranda. So it gives you nice shadows and casts beautiful like a cozy environment inside, and it's more open. So we're trying to absorb that kind of architectural style to this modern way of living. And again, if you notice, this project, the land is a combine of 2 plots and size of 60 by 40, and after it's combined, it's become a 40 by 120. So the land is connected with the 2 roads, and they have facing the beautiful wide roads and with the trees. And you can see it's mostly residential area and 2-story in scale. So we have to address to the 2 first roads. So we're trying to keep 2 facades that facing each road. And by doing that, we're trying to make 2 pavilions, that is one for the guests and one for the family pavilion. And then we're trying to create a courtyard in between. So that's the core of the design. So we're trying to create a space that they can enjoy and utilize, and then they can celebrate their lives. And that's what we were trying to do with this project. And the ground level, you can see, we're trying to give very much like open living. And living, we don't want to have a veranda or the windows. We just connected with the paved courtyard. And as you go through this narrow corridor, you enter into a vast space. And in a very urban setup, and when you have a garden or a space like this, it's going to be really attractive, and again, they love that idea. And we want to make the house much as more transparent and visible, and want to give a privacy within that space for them to enjoy the courtyard. So we created this kind of environment. So basically, house can be shut beyond the living space. So we left the living outside, so then it connects with the courtyard. So then you shut that trellis, the screen doors, you still get the ventilation through that. And upper level, it's a bridge-like living, that's their study, and then it connects the 2 bedrooms, basically upper level. So that was the idea, and this is how they're utilizing the spaces, and the paved courtyard, and again the trees we selected very carefully to connect with their way of living, and they really want to have that for the kids to grow up with the neem trees and tulsi trees and all that thing connected with their lifestyle. So, and we changed the material also from that level to the upper, and actually the site has quite a 2.5 feet difference from the one road to the other. So we make use of that site level to have the different platform for each function. If you notice the parking at the one level, and then you come to a long steps to the courtyard, and from the courtyard you can see then another steps to go up to the living, and then you have that dining connecting with the outside. So there's a series of connection, a visual link to the outside, and again we're trying to frame the vegetation beyond the site. So it gives you a really openness, wideness that is connected with the surrounding, and the freedom to enjoy that. And we're trying, and again, when it goes to the upper level, it's just a simple living, and just to make a cozy living for their family. So one side is the parents' room, the other side is the daughter's room. So when it comes to the visitors block, the other side, and this is actually the bedrooms, I just want to give you a little bit of idea how we frame and how the window detail, and with the mosquito mesh, and then you can open out. And again, some small courtyards we created for the toilets, just to get the ventilation. And then you can see even here, I'm just going back again to this one, and that link is there's a bridge connecting 2 pavilions, and we want to give a privacy that it can be protect that side of the left side, and it connects the 2 family pavilion and the guest pavilion. And also we're trying to give the servant quarters at the upper level, and they have a private staircase that they can reach to the servant, and servant can use the bridge to come up to their house as well for the maintenance. So that was the idea in the plan, and you can see in the bridge there. And we're trying to work with the material, and we're trying to experiment with that, whatever we have from that context, because we have to design for the context, and I want to build the house to belongs to the space or a place. And that's one jali that we designed with that along with the bridge that is made out of timber, and that has a privacy, but again we are trying to get the ventilation through that, and the series of like that, and again copper gutters, and then again the lime plaster, we're trying to use the different textures to the character. So we use that thing as a pigment plaster throughout the project, and even include in the bedrooms. And the chapati stone, that is a very common in Indian, the Bangalore especially. So we experiment with the different scale, different textures, and then different colors to the different space. So with all that, we're trying to get the flavor of the place, and we're trying to get essence from the architectural style and the way of living from that culture, and to absorb that and trying to make it contemporary living for the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Palinda Kannangara, for this wonderful presentation. With that, we have our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, nominated for the Design Award category for the project, The Factory House, Architect Malisha Kodituaku. Before I invite her to the stage, let me give a brief introduction about her. Malisha is the director and the principal architect of Hexa Architecture Private Limited, informally known as the Studio Hexa, a young responsible architecture practice which is based in Colombo. She received her charter from the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects in year 2014 and has been carving her own niche since then. She is also an international chartered member of the Royal Institute of British Architects and an international associate of the American Institute of Architects as well. She holds a master's degree in architecture from the University of West England in UK and is a product of City School of Architecture and Ladies College in Colombo. Her design at Studio Hexa is to be responsible in how we design buildings by going beyond aesthetics to architecture that shows greater sensitivity towards the well-being of its user and the environment. Her portfolio includes multiple adaptive reuse projects, which converts discarded shipping containers and derelict structures into habitable spaces. She believes that we as architects have responsibility to look at options that use less energy and fewer resources. Her work is both experimental in terms of design and practical in terms of function, believing that space should, above all else, serve the user as well. Her work has received multiple awards at national and international level, which includes an honorary mention at the prestigious Arcasia Awards in 2020, a Merit Award at SLIA Design Awards in year 2021, and being named the winner of the Sustainability category of Metal Architecture Awards in 2018. She was also the recipient of 6 design and research awards at academic levels. Welcome on stage, Architect Malisha Korituaku, to do your presentation.
Thank you. Good evening. My project today is a little bit more about a story about a building that had reached the end of its lifespan and was up for demolition. And the brief was actually very different to what the end result was. And originally the plot was a 40-perch plot of land which the client had acquired to subdivide and put up 4 houses. So it came to me to divide into 4 and put up 4 houses. And there was this old factory which was basically of absolutely no use on the property, which was of no value. It was up for demolition. And on the way to site, every day I would see this pile of construction debris being dumped into a paddy field. And I suddenly realized that that was the same fate that was going to happen to this building also, once it was taken down. And this was the state that it was in. So it was of no architectural value. It was barely standing. It was structurally stable, but beyond that, there was nothing that could be really salvaged in terms of architectural elements or giving it any sort of distinction in terms of design. But I thought I'd convince the client to keep it and convert it into a more modern house, because there was also a requirement in the area because Overseas School is located close by, and there was a market for large, more high-end houses in the area, and I felt that he could still make the same, the return on his investment would be the same as trying to do 4 houses and sell. So I convinced him to keep the structure and renovate it as 1 house instead. And if you can see here, the structure, original structure is in black, and I didn't go beyond that original footprint. So it was just a case of sort of taking out a few walls, adding in a few new ones. And this is the progress that we made with it. So if you look at the picture that's on top there on the left, and the middle picture at the bottom, that's actually the same image that you see. So you'll be able to recognize some of the elements. And also the 2 pictures on the extreme right are also of the same view. You might be able to recognize the same tree. So it was a case of taking something that was basically going to be demolished and of no value and turning that into a profitable project for a client. So this image here is the window that the man is standing at is the same window that you see in the finished product. So it was a lot of sort of detailing and a lot of giving it new life, really. Every finish had to be done, thought of from scratch. There was nothing really that could be used apart from the structure itself. And obviously there was very little light and ventilation because the structure had looked at the bare minimum to run the factory. What they had used it for before was to make handmade toys. And before that, they had used it to pack tea into crates. So the three pictures on the right are of the same view. So how it started off was the middle top was how we found it. And the one below that is progress that we made, and the one on the right is the end product that we came with. And on the left, you see an old roof, and that was the original roof of the house. And the steel from that was salvaged, and we did the garage structure outside with that same steel because the roof couldn't be kept. It was a really bad standards. So this is a little bit of the interior. And it wasn't really trying to follow any sort of trend or trying to keep up with any thing that you see now currently. And it was more a case of putting in personalized details and more creating a home out of it. And what really happened was during this project, it was during COVID, and I was living in an apartment myself. And little by little, as you kept working on it, we sort of fell in love with it. And finally, after much debate and a little bit of negotiation, the project ended up becoming my home, which was not how it started out. But it sort of felt fitting that where I lived also reflected what my ideas were as an architect and what I was trying to do. So ultimately, a project that really started off in one place ended up in quite a different position. And this is the final end product of that same factory that you saw initially. And thank you.
Thank you, Architect Malisha Kodituaku, for that inspiring presentation. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our next shortlisted nominee, Architect Nalaka Kumbukage, nominated for the Design Award for the project Coffee Lab by Grandes. Moving on, let me give you a brief introduction about Architect Nalaka Kumbukage. Architect Nalaka Kumbukage is a graduate of University of Moratuwa with a bachelor's degree in architecture in year 2008. Before starting his own studio, he worked with architect Vinod Jayasinghe as a junior architect. His practice is a design-oriented firm working closely with creative and energetic team of young architects in a studio environment, where it's all about exploring new avenues, producing unique solutions through creativity across the country. He had won multiple awards both locally and internationally over the years, namely Architecture Master Prize Award in 2019, Honorable Mention for Hospitality Architecture, SLIA Color Awards in year 2019, Award of Excellence, SLIA Design Award in year 2019, Award of Merit, and the Most Attractive Display Panel in SLIA Members Exhibition 2019. I would like to welcome Architect Nalaka Kumbukage on stage for your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, SLI, for nominating me for this award. This project is single level, nearly 3,000 square feet, quite a small area. It is an interior design of the coffee lab for Grandeza, a well-renowned entrepreneur in the hospitality industry. It is located in Kurana, 4 kilometers away from the Negombo city, facing the busy Colombo-Negombo main road. It was a conversion of an existing building almost skeleton down by the fire to a British-style elegant coffee shop. It was somewhat challenging to bring back his day-to-day business in the same place, but in a new approach, meeting the demand of the various customer groups. This is the careful planning was done, creating a private dining spaces for smaller customer groups to public dining space for the longer groups, and the core of the plan arranged to semi-private gatherings, which render with more dynamic and vibrant atmosphere. Now we'll move on the short video. I think it will give you a better idea of my design.
Coffee is not a drink, it's a moment. Coffee Lab by Grandiza is a lab of coffee. Indulge in heavenly delights that perfectly capture the warmth inside. It is a new vibe, a unique atmosphere for a sensational lineup of beverages and food, a place to dive to a flavor-packed adventure of a private, cozy and convenient setting. It is a space designed to gather, connect, enjoy and live memorable moments. The conversion of an existing building, almost skeleton downed by the fire, to a British-styled elegant coffee shop was the major challenge of the project. The focus of the remodeling was to carry out an intervention with a unique gesture that completely embraced the space. In facing this, the facade has been renovated, only keeping the column grid of the old building. The new outer skin with large glazed windows, plastered walls, long dome canopies and decorated lamps create an expressive facade bringing the characteristics of a British-style coffee shop. With these modifications to the outer layer, the next challenge was to make the Coffee Lab interior more elegant and warmer, to welcome the customers pass by the busy main road. The attempt was to create nooks and niches ranging out from a private dining space for a warm meetup to a public dining space for a group meeting, concerned with both serving a goodly number of people, providing pleasing ambience with a symphony of flavors. For this, suspended ceiling was introduced to break down the large internal volume and to create more focus on diverse dining spaces inside. In interior arrangement, on the side walls, linear sofas with tables and chairs concentrate most of the seating towards the ends, ensuring open space in the center for better customer and staff circulation. The furniture was designed and made of teak with smooth and curvilinear shapes, based on a carefully selected color palette. Timber partitions with a mix of cane rattan panels introduced to maintain the privacy of each tables while visually demarcating the personalized dining space of each customer group. Lighting plays a huge role in a comfortable interior arrangement, where the adequate lighting levels can make all the difference between dullness and vibrancy. In here, natural light admits through the added large glazed windows, ramp up incoming luminosity while rewarding customers visually at same time. In addition to the functional aspect, the artificial lighting was treated as an aerial element associated with the fixed counter that reinforces the connection and integration between spaces. The fabric chandeliers and the light fixture with steel and fabric pendant spheres are striking elements in the project that scale down the interior space while drawing the focus towards the tables. The entire floor out of timber finish vinyl used to minimize sound reverberation and to provide greater acoustic comfort in the environment. The use of these materials not only provides timeless beauty to the space, but also brings a feeling of warmth and durability that integrates harmoniously into the project. By each and every decision and detailing exercise throughout was to create a unique environment which makes memorable moments for customers who pay short visits here within their busy lifestyles.
Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Nalika Kumbukage, for your presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to move on to our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, Architect Shehla Latif, nominated for the Design Award for the project The White Heaven, which is a personalized house. Talking about Architect Shehla Latif, she's passionate about architecture from the tender age of 13, and she has obtained her bachelor's degree in built environment in year 2003 and her master's degree in architecture in year 2006 from the University of Moratuwa. She set up Urban Arc Architectural Consultants in year 2013 as his sole proprietor and has completed residential, commercial and mixed development projects in the form of new construction, renovations and interiors. Welcome on stage Architect Shehla Latif for your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I feel truly humbled and privileged to be able to share a very personal project with you all today, my own home. It all started when my husband requested for me to design and build a home for our family whilst I was still at university. This project was built and completed in 2008, which is almost 15 years ago. A 23-perch regular plot was my canvas. The site is at Anderson Road off Dickmans Road, right in the heart of Colombo 5. The property had only one large 40-year-old, 40-foot mango tree adjacent to the northeast boundary. Onto the south was a house converted into a commercial property with 11 outdoor AC units blowing hot air towards the site at the time of design. The north boundary had unplastered boundary walls of 2 houses, which were visually not very pleasing. At the rear was a home where bedroom windows opened onto the site. Thus, situated in a close-knit urban area, there was a need for privacy from neighboring houses, and the concept of looking within emerged from this need. This facade is a simple and unassuming one, purposefully done, so as not to be imposing to road users as well as to relate to the street front and context. The house itself has been set back 40 feet from the street. When looking at the facade, it is difficult to guess what lies within. My husband's brief was pretty simple, but it was quite a demanding one. All he wanted was a theater room, a pool for recreation, and a 4-car garage. The rest was up to me. I was thrilled and felt challenged to embark on what I considered as my first housing project. When talking about the concept of looking within, the rectangular form of the house is broken into 2 halves, dividing along its longitudinal axis. One half contains all private spaces looking into the other half. One half contains all private spaces, looking into the other half, a triple height celebratory space, forming the garden, living, dining, and pool. The entire structure flows seamlessly from one area to another through the use of openings and voids. The celebratory space connects the front and rear boundaries. The design maximizes the concept of open plan layout through smart space partitions and multi-height levels. Even though every space was given physical and visual connectivity, it can be closed off when privacy is required. The pool is placed in the heart of the house, the reason being predominantly to protect the privacy of its users. Anchoring onto the concept of looking within, the pool provides the house with a visually pleasing aesthetic. The transformation from day to night is magical. With night lighting, the sitting and dining transforms into a raised pool deck with gardens on either side, channeling air throughout the home. Placing the pool within brought about its problems, and they needed solutions. One problem was the increase in humidity levels, and a good ventilation system had to be designed. The system became a key feature and also provides beautiful vistas of the world outside. The building envelope was punctured on the roof and side boundary wall to incorporate a series of operable aerofoil louvers called vergolas. They provide ventilation as well as create dramatic light and shadow effects within. The large door window openings and the vergolas allow cross-ventilation, creating a comfortable thermal environment. Innovative space expansion methods were incorporated in private rooms where sliding doors replaced solid walls. Rooms overflow into adjacent corridor spaces, enlarging the available floor area, as well as providing connectivity to the rest of the house. The garage slab was converted into an experimental vegetable garden with plants and trees in raised beds. My daughter mentioned to me the other day that she appreciated our home, especially during the days of COVID, where we had to confine ourselves due to lockdown. The house was a place of refuge where we were able to enjoy our spaces as it provided us with physical activity and psychological well-being. For me, I wanted my home to be a place of peace and serenity, an escape from the harshness of city life. It was my goal to capture the essence of timelessness, to be simple yet to achieve sophistication in design. The building and spaces have proved to be multifunctional and adaptable according to its users' needs over the passage of the last 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Shehla Latif, for your presentation. And with that, we will be moving on to our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, Architect Malinda Liyanage. Before his presentation, let me give you all a glimpse of an introduction about him. He is the principal architect in Leomark in architecture, widely known as Malinda Liyanage among the colleagues and clients. He graduated from the University of Moratuwa with the Bachelor of Science in Built Environment and Master in Architecture in year 2004. After gaining formative experience at Jeffrey Barber Associates from year 1999 to 2001, he founded his own firm, Leomark, in year 2010. Since then, he has successfully completed numerous projects in Sri Lanka, including hotels, villas, retreats, restaurants, and commercial buildings, factories, and personalized houses. He has been nominated for the Design Award for the project The Grand Gastro Bar. Welcome on stage, Architect Malinda Liyanage, to do your presentation.
Hello, good evening to everyone. I am architect J.K. C.D. Liyanage, well known as Malinda Liyanage. So, my project is Grand Gastrobar in Negombo. So, my client, you can see that my with the talk. So, my client actually has only one food outlet like pastry shop. So he wanted in Vennapu. So he wanted to come to Negombo. So he wanted. Then I told that he's coming to Negombo. It should be not a pastry shop. So it should be a coffee shop. So he started in a very small way. So after that he maintained good clientele. So after that he wanted to create some flagship kind of grand, so it's name called Grand Gastrobar. So it's a this is actually that's what finally created. So you can see the photographs. Actually, unfortunately, I couldn't put plans and elevation and sections because of my personal issue with that. Actually, I was not well last few weeks, so that's why I could quickly PowerPoint presentation with my photos. Okay, actually, yeah, this is the actually interior views. So actually, this is private dining area, that a restaurant area, fine dining area. This is actually coffee lounge spaces. So that small pocket kind of spaces we have created for different clients. So they can select some spaces. Then there are a lot of people come to this place and spend their time. A lot of people actually personally they have called. Actually, if they have a small issue, there is stress, they are coming. They come to this place and having coffee, so they can relax here. So this is the ground area. Now actually this is tranquil small garden space also for smokers. So other so this is the actually upstairs staircase to lead into upstairs. So actually upstairs is a main like bridge. So it's bridge connecting with the ground floor also. So this is actually, I wanted to tell, this is actually leased property. So he built this structure actually getting some kind of risk. So now actually he earning a lot of from this coffee shop. So I think the success with his dream. This is actually private meeting space. This is a private party area. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Malinda Liyanage, for your presentation. And with that, we have our next shortlisted nominee for the Design Award category, Architect Ironi Padmaperuma, nominated for the Design Award for the project The Tropical Yellow. Before that, let me give you a glimpse of an introduction of who she really is and what she has been doing. Architect Ironi Padmaperuma is the founder and the principal architect at Ironi Padmaperuma Architects, and is an associate member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects and a Green Building Accredited Professional of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. She has been working under Architect Palinda Kannangara and under Architect Sudesh Nanakkara as a junior architect, where she has been obtained a lot of inspiration and knowledge to establish her own practice in year 2003 as Ironi Padmaperuma Architects. She is a recipient of multiple academic awards, both national and international, including the Best Color Award under the Architecture category at Young Asia Designers Awards International and Gold Award at Young Asia Designers Award National Platform in the year 2021, winner of SLIA Awards, Herbert E. Gonzalez Memory Award of Excellence for the highest score in CDP in year 2020, and PP Mihindu Kirtiratna Award for achieving the highest grade point in comprehensive design projects. Furthermore, a recipient of many more academic awards such as overall best performance and research awards at MSc Architecture in year 2019 and year 2020. Welcome on stage architect Irani Padma Peruma for your presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. The project title is Tropical Allure, the Frangipane House. So this house is 65 plus old abandoned ancestral property converted into a leisure villa. Sits on a 60 perch land in a tranquil neighborhood. The client was a young couple that was eager to transform this property into a leisure villa where they can unwind and escape from their busy lifestyles. And the project is located in Paduka, Sri Lanka. This house has been once renovated before I got the project, and this is the plan of the oldest house. And this is the plan of the existing house, which was there by the time I got the project. And these are some of the pictures of the existing house. Most of the walls of the existing house were out of limestone, which required extra attention during the renovation process. However, the primary objective was to refurbish the old house by converting the existing boarding spaces into user-friendly spaces that complement the function. This is the plan after the renovation. In terms of sustainability, the new additions were done with minimum structural renovations. So the areas highlighted in red were the ones that was newly added, and demolition was minimized, and instead the existing thick limestone walls were reinforced to avoid unnecessary destruction and the need for additional structural support. Stones found on site were used for ledges, steps, and pathways. Also, some of the furniture, door window frames were refurbished and reused, reducing waste. Moving on to the design, upon arrival, a pathway covered with textured pebbles guides visitor through a serene environment. Lush vegetation on one side provides a calming experience for both the body and mind. Continuing onwards, one can set his eyes on the clear waters of the infinity pool against lush green foliage, framed by a versatile minimalistic platform, which is a new addition to the property that provides an ideal space for relaxation. Upon entry to the villa, a welcoming lobby leads to a cozy living room. The focus was to preserve the authentic simplicity of the old house. So the interior design showcases a blend of carefully selected and manufactured decorative antiques and simple traditional furniture reflecting authentic Sri Lankan aesthetics. Each bedroom is unique from one to another with complementary furniture and offers ample natural light and ventilation, providing charming views of the surrounding landscape. All attached bathrooms feature open-to-sky showers for a unique experience. Since the old fireplace in the kitchen was deteriorated, it was demolished and converted into a spacious storage room. The remaining space was then transformed into a modern spacious kitchen featuring a pantry island that serves both for cooking and dining purposes. The use of different materials such as mirisgal, pebbles, stones, and cement tiles enhances the therapeutic quality of each space. Finally, you see the conversion. So this design project aims to revitalize existing structures instead of seeking to demolition, especially in communities with limited resources, and thereby to improve their living standards. It encourages adaptive reuse that adds value to existing usable structures, both aesthetically and functionally. The concept of this project contributes to improve the built environment sustainably and cost effectively, discouraging demolition to save cost and preserve natural environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Hironi Padma Peruma, for your presentation. With that, we will be now moving on to our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, Architect Damit Premathilaka, nominated for the Design Award for the project titled Rediscovering the Breath of Life. Let me give you a brief introduction about Architect Damit Premathilaka, of who he is and what he has been doing. Damit Premathilaka received his bachelor's degree in built environment in year 2001 and his master's degree in architecture in year 2006 from the University of Moratuwa. He advanced professional as a chartered architect by completing the AIA and completed his postgraduate degree in landscape architecture at the University of Moratuwa in year 2013. He is an associate member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects and a member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Landscape Architects as well. He is also an international associate member of American Institute of Architects and the international member of Royal Institute of British Architects as well. At present, he is a council member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects. His contribution to the field extends to being a visiting lecturer at University of Moratuwa, Faculty of Architecture and City School of Architecture in Colombo. His architectural styles have been renowned by being awarded both locally and internationally. World Architecture Community Awards in 2012 and 2014, winner of Architecture Asia Awards for Emerging Architects in 2014, Young Architect of the year 2016, and being a winner of the 10 Outstanding Young Persons of Sri Lanka in 2016, and are some of the achievements which he has gained within his career as a young professional. Also, his practice published among best 50 practices in the world by the book 50 Under 50 Innovations of the 21st Century 2015. It's my pleasure to welcome Architect Damit Premathilaka on stage to do your presentation.
Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, all of you. Rediscovering Breath of Life, residential landscape. The existing residence occupies the majority of its 15 perch land, and thus the client decided to expand the existing plot by acquiring an adjoining land to enrich the garden. However, the existing building had landscape presented critical challenges, including inadequate parking space, less garden area, unreceptive entrance, unorganized service areas, undesirable zoning of public areas, underutilized outdoor spaces. To address these issues, we studied the existing plot whilst keeping in mind the primary goal of the project, which is functional exterior spaces with extensive to nature with both horizontally and vertically. Hence, our approach involved expanding the garden, expanding the ground level landscape to the adjacent land, introducing a new service block and the dog cage on the newly acquired land, creating a covered outdoor space that seamlessly merges indoors with outdoors, introducing vertical links by way of a glass elevator to connect the garden and the rooftop. And the floor plans, the entrance and outdoor dining area are strategically aligned with the pool and vertical garden, enhancing visual connectivity, the ground floor and upper floor. And the sections. For the soft landscape, we carefully introduce aquatic plants and shrubs, small and medium height trees, vertical gardens, and we selected plants with a purpose. As hard landscaping materials, we introduce stone paving, gravel pavings, and merge with the landscape. Few construction pictures. So these images showcase the transformation of a relatively small space into a visually pleasing and highly functional design. The project not only optimizes the valuable space but also provides the client with more aesthetically pleasing and practical living environment. A bird's eye view captures the entirety of the pool, revealing the intricate connections that seamlessly bind it with the surrounding soft and hard landscape. This cohesive integration transforms the pool and its surroundings into a unified entity where every element harmoniously comes together as one. And then we have the exteriors, a soft rustic entrance to this colossal garden home. I have a small video to enjoy the space. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Damit Prematilaka, for your presentation. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I have a small announcement for you all. The refreshments are being served at the back, so I would kindly invite you to make your way and help yourself with some refreshments while the presentations are being going on. So with that, we have our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, nominated for the Design Award for the project Jaffna Karashara Center by architect Madhura Premathilaka. Architect Madhura Premathilaka is a Sri Lankan architect and an urban designer with his practice, Team Architrave, established in Colombo. He has a commitment to urbanity and an ethos of crafted modernity with a strong engagement in creating bird and tropical environments in restricted urban contexts. Madhura has long held a questioning approach to practice, grappling particularly with paradoxes of consumption and sustainability. Current contemplations are on how multiple crises Sri Lanka have laid bare minimum extreme inequalities in our society and whether architects and architecture can remain relevant to these realities. Welcome on stage, architect Madhura Premathilaka, to do your presentation.
The Jaffna Cultural Center, JCC, is the prime facility for culture and arts in the city of Jaffna. The design was selected by a competition conducted by the SLI, and it is a contemporary architectural statement yet deeply inspired by tradition and context. The site lies next door to the revered but much smaller cultural icon, the Jaffna Public Library, and we responded to it by pulling our building back, continuing the garden of the library, and creating a frontage, a facade which responds to the library. Components include a cultural museum, an auditorium, and a learning facility, and the building is on 3 levels, a base of 3 levels, and a tower. The cultural museum defines the formal entry. The actual building, which is of steel, glass, and timber, rises behind the colonnade. The building itself is distinctly separated from the colonnade. The entry level is an open exhibition gallery which leads to the public square beyond. The building is on 3 levels, a basement service, the entry level, and the formal enclosed museum on the upper level. A dome on the roof echoes the dome of the public library next door. Below it is the central exhibit space of the museum, which looks out onto the public square through a timber screen. The actual character of the museum building is revealed in its face towards the inner public square, which forms the heart of JCC. A road flanking the lake was pedestrianized to create a public waterfront, and main public entrances are through this public square. Before the war, this was the site of a small but highly active open-air theatre, which is celebrated by the public square and this walk-up art wall structure and free stage for free performances. A step-down open-air theatre culminates in a floating stage on the lake. The auditorium is a 623-seat facility, a maximum seat distance of 23 meters, specially suited to dance forms such as Bharatanatyam, where the expression on the face of the artist should be visible. The acoustic walls of the auditorium are inspired by the Palmyra leaf fence, the well-known familiar feature of Jaffna. The Learning Spire celebrates a new place of learning for the city of Jaffna, a new landmark to complement the public library for a community which values education above all. It comprises studios, lecture and seminar spaces, and exhibition space on the top floor. 7 out of 12 floors are completely naturally ventilated. To minimize solar gain, the entire tower is wrapped in a timber screen which allows the breezes to flow through and cuts solar gain. Low energy requirements of the learning tower enable 60% of its power to be generated by solar panels on the roof. The timber shades were made in 3 meter by 3 meter panels. While the language of JC is unmistakably contemporary, it constantly evokes traditional forms such as the form of the Gopuram of the Hindu temples, the steps of the chariot house, and the community tank. Post-war architecture in Jaffna is at the crossroads between tradition and modernity. The intention of JCC is to demonstrate that definitively contemporary architecture can also be contextually responsive. Unfortunately, JCC has not been used as much as one would expect, but the situation is now evolving, and this is a particularly evocative use. The Young Innovators Festival held in November last year, where over the space of 3 days, 20,000 young students and entrepreneurs used every space of the facility, indoor and outdoor, which is gives encouragement for the future use of this facility. Thank you.
Thank you very much to architect Madhura Premathilaka for that insightful presentation. With that, we'll be moving on to our next shortlisted nominee for today's evening, architect Godrich Samuel, nominated for the Design Award for the project Additions and Alternations to the Church. Let me give you all a brief introduction about architect Godrich Samuel. Godrich Samuel was born in 1962 in Colombo, is a graduate of University of Moratuwa, where he achieved Sri Lanka Institute of Architects Awards for the highest marks obtained in the Master of Architecture final examinations and Geoffrey Power Award for the Best Comprehensive Design Project in the Master of Architecture final examinations in year 1989. He became a corporate member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects in year 1992 and was elected as a fellow member in 2003. His practice began his living room with a single draftsperson in year 1992, and today the practice has its own design studio in central Colombo and has won multiple awards across the years. It's my pleasure to welcome architect Godrich Samuel on stage to do your presentation.
Good evening. This is the church I did. It's a renovation project. This church is known as the Church of Holy Spirit Vavonia in Vavonia. It was built in 1901. It's an Anglican church under the purview of Bishop of Colombo, Diocese of Colombo. This church it's built in Gothic style. 120 years, it didn't have any, it didn't go through any development or extension other than into the vestry at the rear, at the left-hand side. This is the side view of the church. It's made out of rubble, exposed rubble. Unfortunately, the rubble was painted with emulsion, which they regret later, but could not do anything. During the renovation, we mellowed it. The grooves were painted in dark, in black and white. So it lost its character. The rubble character got lost. And the unauthorized structure, there were quite a lot of unauthorized, the vestry was an unauthorized structure. And if you see the church, it's along Colombo Kandy Jaffna Road, near this Vaunia Tower, clock tower. The church is number 6, and belfry, newly constructed belfry is number 4. The entry is from Tank Road. If you see the church plan, the floor area 1,125 was double. That was their requirement. They said their congregation is growing, and some Sundays the congregation stand outside during the service time. So we extended the church, and the church didn't have a porch, so we created a porch also, and vestry was reconstructed. There was a big issue with the local congregation and the archaeological department, because we had to go for archaeological department for the approval, since it's over 100 years old, and it was considered as a heritage building. They wanted the same architecture to be repeated. So it took 2 years for us to convince them to say that, okay, we'll do something modern, so that will say that will record as this era's architecture, and it will enhance the old architecture of the Gothic architecture. You can see here the old and the new. The old has, and now this is the side view. If you see the section, you can see the extended part is double height. So that is to create a mezzanine floor in the event if they want to extend the church. If the congregation grows further, they can have a mezzanine level without going further up front. And we created a belfry also, where that was another requirement. The original church had a bell in the church facade, so they wanted a belfry, new belfry. So it was removed and belfry was fixed. In the belfry, the bell was fixed. If you see this photograph, it's from the altar. The floor, red cement floor, was removed, and we placed handmade cement press tiles with floral design. The altar rails for the old original church rail was reconstructed, and the floor, the nave floor, which was red cement, was also changed to cut cement. And this is the belfry and the church. You can see on the right side, you see the old church, the facade. If you see the rose window, it was the original church rose window was replaced. This is the front view. You can see the stained glass at the rear in the altar. The original church didn't have stained glass. It had only 3 windows. The center window was closed with a plywood sheet. Now we removed it, and we had 3 stained glass panels. Actually, in the altar, these glass windows were bring a lot of sunlight and glare. It was an issue to the church people. Now this view, you will see the old and the new. The old has truss to support the roof, and the new extension has the portal frame. And you can see the rear facade. And this is the view from the Vaunia Horopatana Road in the evening with the lights on. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Architect Godrich Samuel, for your presentation. Before moving on to our next shortlisted nominee, I would like to remind you all kindly again to make your way and help yourself with the refreshments that have been served there. With that, we have our next shortlisted nominee for today, Architect Dishna Tilanka, nominated for the Design Award for the project titled Image House. Let me do a brief introduction about Architect Dishna Tilanka before he comes to the stage for his presentation. Architect Dishna Tilanka is a visionary architect with a passion for creating spaces that transcends mere functionality. Being a graduate of the University of Moratuwa, he holds a Bachelor of Architecture degree and is a chartered architect and an associate member of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects. Currently practicing on his own, he has reached new heights in defining spaces. Dishna's architectural journey is enriched by his background as an artist as well as a musician, infusing soulfulness in his designs. With a foundation in high-rise and multi-story residential, commercial and hospitality projects, Dishna brings a wealth of experience to his practice. His philosophy revolves around more than just creating structures, where it's about crafting environments that becomes backdrop for cherished memories. Under his leadership, it seeks to uncover the soul and identity of each space, whether it's high-rise development or a roadside small shelter. The firm believes in a deep, layered process where colors, materials, and built forms collaborate to enhance the atmospheric connections between user and their surroundings. Welcome on stage architect Dishna Thilanka for your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Permission from SLIA, panel of judges, esteemed designers, dear guests. The image house at the Hamrena Monastery, Katandula, Alpitia. Sharing the vibrant life of Katandula village, located in Alpitia, is lived by an estate community thriving on tea, rubber, and coconut crops. The temple, village's centerpiece, emphasizes the community pride in contributing to village temple construction and build Buddhist philosophy, furthering the unity, become a better citizens. The temple was started on a land which was donated by a villager on early days, and this project was initiated by a villager itself. There was a high involvement decision making of the project. The architectural engagement was conducted in a very positive manner by being familiar to the community. Purpose of the project is give hope to the community, expand the spiritual engagement while uniting them in a profound sense of purpose. Creating the base form, the inspiration was drawn out from an old existing structure that already existed in the side corner. The entrance of the image house tallied the main temple entrance alignment to develop the better progression with the intention having raised level of Buddha statue, the form of hexagon platform and the roof was selected to create balanced form all sided externally and internally. And also the walking path around the Buddha statue could accommodate with ease, allowing enough space for circulation. Due to this temple being situated on top of the rock, the foundation of the structure was designed to suit context by drilling the boulder and the chemical anchoring, the reinforcement, the casting, the columns. The villagers were very passionate on getting involved in this project. Every one of the village has contributed to the project at least with one brick built to the image house. Except for the architect, engineer and the sculptor involved in this project as professionals, all other labor work like mason bars, electrician, carpenter were done by the villagers. Most of the material were found within the proximity of natural sources and therefore the transportation distance was reduced by reducing the carbon footprint. Discussing the unique process of the creating Buddha statue crafted with clay, cement and cement at Kirindiwala, a mold was casted for the final production with the challenge of ensuring the desired mudra and proportion during the concrete casting will be successful without pre-trails. Since the image house is surrounded by lush vegetation, the openness of the structure visually contain focus in the Buddha statue, also enhancing the natural light, cross ventilation and the energy efficiency. Furthermore, the divine detail aesthetic achieved through carefully designed light gray cement textures column and the all white lotus podium enhance the design clarity and the overall appearance. To make the purpose of raised platform while keeping the Buddha statue in a higher elevation, and the lower level library contained religious texts is placed for the villagers. Describing the roof as a charming highlight for the statue, achieving geometric balance with traditional rafters, aligning the statue pinnacle with the roof highest peak of the harmonious presentation can be observed within the creation. Finally, introducing the Buddha statue, casted with personally known artist to the architect, emphasizing the careful selection of expressive Ashirvada mudra to inspire pilgrims. As this project initiated by the community to serve the community, the project quite interesting. I would like to humbly state that this is not just a statue. This is a living proof how the architecture can be bond between any form of relationships. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Dishna Thilanka, for your inspiring presentation. With that, I would like to move on to our next shortlisted nominee, Architect Kosala Veerasekara, nominated for the Design Award for the project titled The Studio House. Before I invite him on stage, I would like to give you a brief introduction about Architect Kosala Veerasekara. Architect Kosala Veerasekara is an associate of the Sri Lanka Institute of Architects, as well as an international member of Royal Institute of British Architects. He is a graduate of the University of Moratuwa and has worked with architect Ranjit Alahakon and with architect Madhura Premathilaka before starting his own practice, which is Kosala Veerasekara Chartered Architects, which is commonly known as KWCA. He has won numerous local and international awards for his design contributions, and he has been awarded the Young Architect of the Year in year 2020 and year 2022. He is also a visiting lecturer at the Faculty of Architecture in University of Moratuwa, as well as in the City School of Architecture. It's my pleasure to welcome on stage Architect Kosala Veerasekara to do your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. The studio house is a very small project. Gross built area is 850 square foot, while the plot coverage is just 15% built on a land around 3,000 square foot, around 11 perch. Most importantly, the project cost was around 8 million, which is 24,000 USD. And built within 8 months. So the client is being a software engineer. After pandemic, as he is working online, he wanted a peaceful place where he can work and live. From the inception itself, the idea was to build less to cater the essential needs and lower the cost much as possible while creating an ambience that makes it a home. The concept, living big in a small house, is a lifestyle choice that challenges the conventional notion that more spaces equals more happiness. It involves making intentional decisions to simplify and optimize your living space, focusing on quality over quantity. So these are the layouts. We have used minimum floor area for the structure, and most of it is landscape garden, which complements the green view on the rear side. As you can see on the left side, the ground floor is completely open, and few main spaces are stacked in the upper level. So this is the section. The building was raised because there was a risk of floods, but still the covered area can be used as nice gathering place to enjoy the garden. So this is the aerial view of the project. You can compare the scale of the left side building, which is the same size of the plot of the land, which is around 10 perches. And you can see the rear garden is facing the marsh, which opens up to a larger view. You can see here the road, the front garden, the building, and the rear garden opens out to the marsh. And the left side is the big building standing on next to the project. So this is the view from the road. The reused wooden door and the floor patterns lead to the lobby area. As you can see here, the structure is very simple and resting on few pillars because of the flood issue. So the ground floor, this is the ground floor lobby area, which act as a multi-purpose space for gathering, reading, yoga, etc. The superstructure is completely done with steel, while the substructure is concrete. The floor is done out of timber. A part of 2 wedge irons running along the building. The complete structure is out of steel box bars, 75 by 40. Entrance to the living space is from outside, as you can see on the left side picture. The staircase is lightweight and hanging on the main structure as well. Sorry. So this is how it looks to the back garden. Ground floor is completely open without any doors or windows. On the top level, we have opened up the rear side to view the largest to get the view with the larger sliding and sliding folding windows. So this is the living area. The living, pantry, and dining compacted together while capturing the vistas. So the pantry counter extends as a small dining table. Also, wherever possible, we have created small niches which can be used as storage areas. So the living area extends to a timber deck while expanding the inside space and creating an extended gathering place. So the right side picture is the view towards the marsh, actually left side, captured to the living. The outer skin was done with the same roofing sheet which was used for the roof, while inside is covered with cement fiber sheets. And there was an insulation layer in the middle to reduce the heat gain. So this is the bedroom area. It's simple and minimal, catering just the essential needs. There is a dedicated working area inside the room. Also enough covered area for their clothes. Bedroom also captured the views of the surrounding. So the project is significant in both sustainability and social responsibility aspects. The sustainability extends to efficient space utilization, a reduced environment footprint, and harmonious integration with nature. Also, social responsibility wise, it's evident its affordability, adaptability, and flexibility, making house accessible across socio-economic backgrounds. So by offering a holistic vision for sustainable living, this project serves an enlightening solution to current housing challenges in Sri Lanka, presenting a harmonious synthesis of simplicity, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Kosala Veerasekara, for that interesting presentation. And with that, as the last shortlisted nominee for the Design Award category, we have Architect Dishna Tilanka, who was also nominated for one of his designs previously. And now he has been nominated for the Design Award with the title of the project, Rustic Canvas Art Studio. I would like to invite Architect Dishna Tilanka for your presentation.
Thank you, SLIA, for nominating this project. The project designed for the contemporary artist, transforming the resident into a live canvas through dynamic spaces influenced by light, shadow, color, and textures. The project location, Porvananda in Ingiriya, site expand over 13.2 perch, emphasizes the integration of private and public space for the artist gallery and the living space, bridging the unique connection between the art and architecture. The design concept as a rustic canvas, the building reflects life-size canvas to paint his life journey, proving the importance of staying within the budget while creating a contemplation and inspiration, redefining spaces that manipulate solar shading due to west-facing orientation. Highlighting the linear arrangement responding to the site geometry, creating pockets of light through brick fretwork, illustrating the fusion of greenery and brick color in the exterior is enhanced by the inviting canopy. Utilizing the minimal use of materials, fair-faced brickwork, polished concrete, and timber to achieve harmonized blend. The project incorporates varied style of bricklaying for diverse spatial experience, integrating art as an integral part of the architecture, creating unique identity of the client within the context. The spatial experience integrating art as an integral part, briefly expressing how the simplicity of the interior becomes to life through interplay of light and shadow. The central courtyard and the ventilated brick facade collectively promote hot air, releasing the out, keep the interior cool during the day, providing the natural ventilation. Working studio, cement finish, brick panel as an air vent through the which light filters to create a play of light and shadow inspire the new ways to creating art. The night brings a different ambience to the surroundings with building illuminated, casting reflections and creating shadows on the ground through the brick facade. The spaces are designed to be a living gallery where they provide fine backdrop for his craft and connecting art and architecture. A small video presentation there. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Architect Dishna Tilanka, for that interesting presentation. With that, we can conclude our Design Award category. And now we have a short video presentation by one of the sponsors for today's evening.
"140 years in, and we continue to fill the world with color. Our innovation has sparked opportunities and brightened lives. It all starts with groundbreaking research at our world-leading facilities and the synergy of our diverse Nippon Paint Asia family. We're proud of how we have worked hand in hand to emerge as Asia's #1 paint and coatings manufacturer. Through it all, we have fulfilled our brand promise to innovate with heart and celebrate our people, the beating heart of everything we do. So we empower them with the skills they need to truly soar. And we envision a future where people and the planet can thrive together. We dream big and in bold Technicolor. So we go beyond producing coatings to light up as many lives as we can. Our coatings have transformed motor vehicles all over the region, and they keep industrial powerhouses running smoothly and efficiently, and provide environmentally responsible protection for maritime vessels. Durable and weather resistant, they help architects and developers bring their visions to life. We innovate ahead of the game with products that protect us in today's new normal and lay the foundations for a safer future. We also give our consumers more than paint, offering them design services that truly turn a house into a home. We are Nippon Paint. We harness the brilliance of innovation because we
are inspired by you.
With that, I would like to extend our gratitude to our sponsors for supporting us to make this event a success. With that, we will be moving on to the next session of this event, where we would be presenting our Color Award category nominees. With that, we have architect Shamira Fernando, who has also been nominated for the Design Award category, and now he has been nominated for the Color Award category with the project Office Interior of Sea Line Holdings. Welcome on stage, architect Shamira Fernando, for your presentation.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So this is another project that I did for the same holdings company, but for a different department. So this is for office interior that I've done for Sea Line Holdings Private Limited, and it's again a corporate interior project in Alfred House Avenue, Colombo 3. This project area is about approximately 2,200 square feet. and it accommodates 42 staff among the other facilities. And again, the project duration was approximately around 3 months, out of which 50% was for construction and the remaining 50% was for the planning stage. Then this is the basic color palette that we chose for this project. As I said earlier, the project is the finance department and the HR department of this particular company. So the color palette was chosen very carefully to not purely for the aesthetics, but also to represent the characteristic of each of these departments. Simply, the yellow palette was chosen for the finance department to resemble its very dynamic and fast-moving nature of the finance activity on their day-to-day basis. Similarly, the green palette was selected for the human resource department, which we wanted a more tranquil and serene environment for that particular area. And to outline these two colors, we used a palette of grays and mostly whites as the base color to highlight the yellows and the greens. Then moving on to the plan, basically the entrance to this particular office is from here, and it basically as you enter, you focus onto this corridor that leads towards the finance department, which is right at the back due to its privacy reasons and so on. And the HR department, sorry. The finance department is on this side of the office. This is the finance department, and this is basically a glimpse of the interior look and feel of the finance department. And similarly, the HR department at the back, like I said earlier, and this is the mood that we wanted in the HR department. So this is basically a wider perspective of the entire space, where we have used white as the main base color for the entire interior to enhance the space, and we have used a bit of yellow and green to highlight certain spaces that we wanted to bring out. And the green was also used as a part of the ceiling in certain areas to show the bond that these two departments share in the bigger picture. This is basically the finance department, and again the furniture is done with a high gloss white finish, and the yellow brings out the character of the department. Even things like the furniture and so on was the colors were carefully selected to highlight the essential areas and to sort of give out the hierarchy of the space, even though it's a very open plan setup. This is the main corridor that I was talking about earlier. So as you enter from this side of the main entrance is on that side, and as you enter, so you basically see this set of portals that leads towards the HR department. So this is basically what we wanted to do, is to resemble the mindset of people who comes towards the HR, because usually employees would come to HR for their issues, for various concerns they have in terms of their employment and so on. So the mindset that they have is replicated by this set of portals, and it's relative to the other areas, it's brightly lit up as well. And once you come through that corridor, you end up at this space, which is more serene and designed with a palette of greens mainly, and that's the HR department, which has a more welcoming and supportive environment inside. So as I said earlier, the furniture, even the furniture, the main tables and counters were also designed with white, but we used little details like the back panel being on the selected color to bring out the character of that space. Similarly, the greenery that we chose was also very carefully decided. We thought about what sort of plant we use in this particular space, and we tried out several plants, and we came up with this particular plant, which again has a combination of the colors that we were looking at. Then these graphics, the wall art that we used itself in certain areas where we wanted it to stand out, we used the striking yellows, and at the same time in areas where we wanted it to blend in, we used things like green on green, white on white, things like that. And in summary, this is basically, I wanted this particular slide as the last slide to show our approach in terms of color in this particular project. So it was a very minimal approach. We were being very true to the color, and we used simple things like the depth, the light, shadow to bring out the real character of the color instead of having a lot of colors. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Architect Chamira Fernando. With that, we have Architect Nalaka Kumbukage, who has also been shortlisted for the Color Award category for the project Coffee Lab by Grandees. I would like to invite Architect Nalaka Kumbukage on stage for your presentation.
This project, Coffee Lab by Grandees, is a small project which provides me with opportunities to work with a range of colors, textures and materials. I believe the use of colors has a strong perception on space in shaping customers' experience and behaviors. And this was an exercise of applying simple materials with innovative use of colors to create spatial identity. It is a conceptual palette ranging out of deep browns to inviting oranges, uplifting yellows. Colors to capture the sense of energizing coffee experience. With this color range, the material palette of timber, steel, glass, cane, rattan and fabric being purposefully blended, demarcating the interior into sub-pockets for different meetups. Next, we'll move to the short video presentation which explains this further.
A cup of coffee shared with a friend is happiness tasted and time well spent. Coffee Lab by Grandees is a place that transformed drinking a simple cup of coffee into a wonderful experience. It is a hotspot for many, other than the fact that it is a dive into a flavor-packed adventure, is because of the carefully designed interior spaces that promote comfort, relaxation, and productivity simultaneously. In here, the use of color plays a significant role in shaping customers' experiences and behaviors, the ability to influence the way one experiences the world in all its sensory parts. Careful selection of brown, orange, and yellow color palette inspired by coffee evokes a warm and comforting atmosphere reminiscent of a cozy coffee shop and a tranquil interior. Interior rich in deep brown as the dominant color, representing the earthy tones found in freshly brewed coffee. This could be akin to the dark roasted shades of coffee beans that helps guests relax and feel comfortable, and a sense of support and stability. Shades of orange, reminiscent of the warm and inviting hues seen in a cup of freshly poured coffee, while medium orange, similar to the rich tones in the coffee's crema, and a lighter, more muted orange resembling the gentle warmth of steamed milk. Intertwined with these hues, introduce subtle pops of yellow, a warm color energies cheerfulness and enthusiasm to the interior. The yellow range out from a soft, creamy shade to a slightly deeper golden yellow, creating a lively and stimulating environment. These bold hues help to spark the creativity in customers who visit the place. This conceptual palette, with its blend of deep browns, inviting oranges, and uplifting yellows, captures the essence of a comforting and energizing coffee experience through the interior design. It is an exercise of creating a cohesive and visually appealing space that customers will want to return to time and time again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Nalaka Kumbukage, for that insightful presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, to conclude the Color Award category, we have Architect Ironi Padmaperuma, who has also been awarded for the Color Award category for the project Tropical Alar. Will come on stage, Architect Ironi Padmaperuma, for your presentation.
So it's the same project again, the Frangipani House. This project is located in Paduka. This project is located in Paduka, surrounded by forest, rubber, tea, coconut plantations, waterfalls, and paddy fields. This color palette is inspired by the natural surrounding of the area. Talking about the textures of the front curtilage, pathways are covered with pebbles, rough cement tiles, created with different patterns and textures in order to unconsciously direct the visitor to each space. The exterior colors are carefully chosen to harmonize with the surrounding nature. As the sunset, the interplay of light and shadow transform the colors, evoking different interpretations and moods in each space. The palette creates a calming and soothing ambience with earthy tones that harmonizingly align with the surrounding. The building is white in color. It stands out contrastingly and comfortably through these colors and textures of the exterior space. The use of textures and color combinations enhances the overall homogeneity of the outdoor area. Both interior and exterior walls are complemented with white and grey tones. Pale grey tone emphasizes the cut cement floor. Soft green shades are used for doors and windows, providing a soothing and refreshing elements to overall design. Moving on to the internal spaces, the intentional selection and fusion of colors, materials, and textures reveal its relevance to the context, and it could be observed in each space. The entrance lobby and living and dining areas feature artworks and cushion covers designed with a combination of vibrant yet earthy colors, bringing an earthy feel to the interior. The minimalistic finishes are occasionally enhanced by sculptures, paintings, and colorful batik artworks, creating focal points and cozy and lively atmosphere throughout the villa. Each bedroom is unique from one to another, with complementing furniture and array of colors that break the uniformity while evoking sense of excitement. The carefully placed touches of bold colors in bed linen and accessories highlight its unique characteristics and invite guests to appreciate its charm. The redesigned modern spacious kitchen with a pantry island is a combination of soft green, soft blue, dark brown and grey hues. This space is designed to be a gathering spot while cooking, thus creates a soothing, joyful atmosphere, which was the exact ambience it was meant to evoke. The Indian slate tiles were used for the infinity pool to replicate the natural blues and greys of the pure water springs in the area and to merge it with the shades of green of the greenery in the vicinity, creating a harmonious and visually appealing environment. Finally, the palette is deliberately understated with just the right touch of the color in just the right places to energize the building by highlighting the spaces without overwhelming them. Color is thus celebrated and brings the tradition to the forefront. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Ironi Padma Peruma, for that interesting presentation. With that, ladies and gentlemen, now we would be moving on to the final award category, which is the Socially Responsible Architecture Award category. And our last shortlisted nominee for this category will be Architect Thilana Wijekorn, nominated for the Socially Responsible Architecture Award category for the project Kumburadeniya Ambalama. Before I invite him on stage, I would like to give you all a glimpse of introduction about him. Thilana is a practicing architect based in Kandy, Sri Lanka. He received his master's in architecture in year 2012 and became an associate member of Sri Lanka Institute of Architects in year 2014. Having worked with different other prominent architects in different projects over 10 years, he got himself exposed to a range of architectural styles, allowing himself to explore profession of architecture further with his own projects. Thilana is a visiting lecturer and a design tutor of University of Moratuwa and City School of Architecture as well. He is also the director of Baba Architect Private Limited, an architectural consultation service which strives to practice and promote sustainable architecture. It's my pleasure to welcome Architect Thilana Wijekorn on stage to do your presentation.
Good evening to you all. Kumburadeniya Ambalama. See, is it a building? Yes, it is. It is a traditional Ambalama structure designed to suit the given site location. In the past, an Ambalama or wayside inn was built, utilized by the people as a communal area. Important meetings between leaders, tax collection, community gatherings were merely a few of many activities that took place within Ambalama of the past. Is it a place? Yes, it is a place more than a building. Located within the village of Kumburadeniya in Kandy on a privately owned paddy field, this Ambalama is generously shared by the client, Ruan Herath, with the village having understood the importance of having a communal space within such a village. Is it an idea? Yes, it is an idea more than a building or a place. The youth in today's world is isolated from each other and we are losing the sense of community in the society. Not having a healthy community has led to another major problem of the youth getting addicted to drugs. Even in front of my own house in Kandy, there are drug dealers roam around freely selling drugs. As a result to this issue, we started working with the families in the village to educate the children. With this initiative, we realized that we need a place for teaching the kids and for community gatherings. So at the end, a new Ambalama happened. The materials used are locally sourced: stone for the pillars, Me and Hulanghik local timber for the structure, and flat clay shingles for the roof cover. The entire construction process took place at the site with the materials being sized and shaped there itself. Elements of the Ambalama: 4 stone columns, 4 beams, outer columns, inner columns, the bench, floor deck, roof beams, and the rafters, clay tile roof cover, and the pinnacle at the end. This is a view of the Ambalama from the paddy fields. The construction technique is heavily inspired by the Karagahagedara Ambalama, which is one of the notable Ambalamas in Sri Lanka. A view from the water body. Views from inside. After 2 years of lockdowns during the pandemic, we celebrated Vesak in 2022. This is the art teacher Bandara doing art classes for the kids. A Bharatanatyam performance by Dakshit Samaravira. Even during the fuel crisis, few from Colombo came and the villagers gathered. This is how the structure calmly sits in the landscape. The client's humble initiative inspired him to do more for the community. Stepping forward with our idea to educate the children, we are now planning to build a bamboo structure next to Ambalama to accommodate a small school. The foundation is already in place, and now we are in the process of sourcing and treating required bamboo for the project. I invite you all to join with us and share our dreams. We could dream big, build small, and make better communities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect Thiruna Vijayakon, for that wonderful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would like to conclude the presentations by all the shortlisted nominees for all the categories. And now we have a short video presentation by one of our sponsors.
"140 years in, and we continue to fill the world with color. Our innovation has sparked opportunities and brightened lives. It all starts with groundbreaking research at our world-leading facilities and the synergy of our diverse Nippon Paint Asia family. We're proud of how we have worked hand in hand to emerge as Asia's #1 paint and coatings manufacturer. Through it all, we have fulfilled our brand promise to innovate with heart and celebrate our people, the beating heart of everything we do. So we empower them with the skills they need to truly soar. And we envision a future where people and the planet can thrive together. We dream big and in bold technicolor. So we go beyond producing coatings to light up as many lives as we can. Our coatings have transformed motor vehicles all over the region, and they keep industrial powerhouses running smoothly and efficiently, and provide environmentally responsible protection for maritime vessels. Durable and weather resistant, they help architects and developers bring their visions to life. We innovate ahead of the game with products that protect us in today's new normal and lay the foundations for a safer future. We also give our consumers more than paint, offering them design services that truly turn a house into a home. We are Nippon Paint. We harness the brilliance of innovation because we
are inspired by you.
On behalf of SLIA, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsor Nippon Paint Lanka Private Limited for supporting to make this event a success. Moving on to the last segment of this event with our presentation by our international juror, Architect Pei Ying Tang, I would like to invite the Senior Vice President and the Chairperson of the Award Committee, Architect Dilumini Dimel, to give us a brief introduction about her. Welcome on stage, ma'am.
Thank you, Dulya. Members, it is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce our international juror. Architect Datuk Tan Pei is a highly accomplished architect with distinguished career spanning over 3 decades. Throughout her illustration career, she has been a trailblazer in the field, serving as the first female president of Malaysian Institute of Architects, commonly called as PAM. In addition to her significant role within PAM, architect Datuk Tan Pei has also played a crucial role on international stage. Her involvement in International Union of Architects, UIA, and Architects Regional Council Asia, ARCASIA, is extensive. She serves as the president of ARCASIA in 2013 to 2014 and played a significant role as the Secretary General of UIA from 2021 to 2023. Recognized for her outstanding contributions, Architect Datuk Tan Pei has received numerous honors and awards, including the Women of Excellent Award 2014, the Malaysia Construction Industry Excellent Premier Award Construction Leading Lady Award 2015, and the prestigious Datukship conferred by Malaysian King in 2016 for her service and contribution to nation's building. Furthermore, her architectural practice, PI Architect, was recognized as one of the BCI Asia Top 10 Architects Malaysia, FIACI Malaysia Property Award, and various recognitions for exemplary projects like the Putrajaya Marriott Hotel, Casa Klang, Skies Residence, IOI City Mall, and Park Villa. Besides her professional achievements, Architect Datuk Tan Pei remains actively engaged with the government bodies and agencies, contributing to the formulation of policies and laws for the building industry. Her dedication to philanthropy and advocacy further underscore her influential role in shaping the architectural landscape. Members, please welcome Architect Datuk Tan Pei.
Hello. Good evening. I would like to thank President Rohana, Senior Vice President Diliminu, and SLIA for your kind invitation. And it is indeed a great honor for me to participate in the SLA Award as an international juror. I had a great pleasure to meet so many talented architects over the last few days and able to witness their fantastic creation. And congratulations to all of you, because in my opinion, you're all winners. I must also thank SLIA for allowing me the opportunity to share my journey in architecture with you. I was born in a very small town, Kajang in Malaysia, and grew up in a shop with only 2 bedrooms on the ground floor. My parents stayed in one room, and my grandmother and the 5 of us occupied the other room. The kitchen was shared with another family living on the first floor. There was no clean water supply, and we relied totally on well water. The toilet is a small hut outside and at the back of the shop, with a hole and a bucket below, which was cleared only once in a few days. So since young, I grew up in that kind of environment, and I realized the impact of the living environment on the quality of life. My childhood was also marked by a period of great economic transition and rapid nation building. So as I followed my parents, who used to travel to Kuala Lumpur to work, and over the years, I could see the skyline and urban landscape transforming. So I developed intense fascination about architecture, and I started my dream to be an architect, as I want to be in a profession with the power of shaping the environment that greatly impact the society. I pursued Bachelor of Architecture at the University of Melbourne, Australia. And when I returned to Malaysia in 1985 after my graduation, the industry was not quite ready to accept female architects, and Malaysia was also facing economic downturn. I had great difficulty in even getting a job after going through many rounds of interviews, as many perceived that female is incapable of handling rough construction sites. I finally ended up working in a very small practice with the help of a family friend. I set up my practice PI Architect in 1989, right after my professional registration. I continuously encountered gender biasness, especially during the early years of my career. I did not give up, because I strongly believe that in any chosen field, there are always challenges and discrimination, and it's only just one of them. So I was determined to prove others wrong, and my dream and passion pushed me. Although the journey has been challenging, and I had to work much harder to prove my capabilities, it has helped me to build my strength and resilience. The vision of my practice is to provide responsive and innovative solutions to a wide range of architecture, by adopting flexible design methodology, which breaks away from preconceived and formulated solutions. Professionalism and integrity are also the main guiding principles of my practice. Over the years, we have completed quite a wide range of projects, ranging from residential to commercial and integrated developments. I started my practice with small residential projects and shophouses. Over time, we were commissioned for projects of much larger scale. Our Ai Po Chung Mall was the first big-scale project undertaken by my practice. Phase 1 was opened in 1997, and Phase 2 opened in 2009. The Putrajaya Marriott Hotel and the 2 RI Squares were completed in 2002 and 2003, respectively. The hotel houses 488 guest rooms with a large column-free ballroom, 21 meeting facilities of various capacities, and a series of F&B outlets. The 2 RI Squares comprise of 2 11-story office towers. As part of my commitment for social responsibility, we also provided pro bono and partial pro bono services for a number of schools. Today, I would like to present a few of our more recent projects in greater details. The first one is Sky Condominium, completed in 2018. It houses 1,039 units of residential units of various sizes. It is a resort-style condominium that's equipped with a 5.8-acre recreational space with full clubhouse facilities. Sky Condominium is the tallest landmark set in the 1,000-acre township. It is situated 200 meters above sea levels at the highest floor, and every unit commands unobstructed views of the surrounding skyline. All the residential units are designed with maximum natural ventilation and lighting with minimum shed walls. The living areas of all the units are provided with large covered balconies, and those units facing west are provided with special sliding doors for sun screening. It is a very difficult site, as more than 60% of the site is on steep slopes. The planning is such that the podium, with 5 blocks of towers, hard the terrain to minimize cutting. The podium deck, linking the 5 blocks, is designed as a landscape deck with different landscape themes. The clubhouse is located at the topmost platform, and the swimming pool camouflages itself amongst the panoramic views of the blue sky. The outdoor landscape is designed to complement the space usage and architecture. The selections of materials and colors highlight the form of spaces and create harmonious and soothing ambience. I'm going to play a short video. The second project which I would like to share is the integrated development. In IOI Resort City, comprising of 3 development components: the IOI City Mall, the IOI City Towers, and hotels. This is a project we work in collaboration with Articel Incorporated. The IOI City Mall Phase 1 was opened in 2014. It has a gross floor area of 2.2 million square feet and a lettable area of 1.5 million square feet with around 7,600 car parks. The architecture is inspired by the interpretation of a city in garden concept, where architecture blends with the landscape and the activities of the mall. The mall is home to an Olympic-sized ice skating ring, a 70,000 square feet adventure park, District 21, trendy fashion brands, supermarket, cinema plexus, F&B outlets offering local and international dining experience, and Symphony Walk, which is an extensive outdoor landscape and dining facilities with musical water fountain. At the third quarter of last year, the IOI City Mall Phase 2 development was completed with an additional 1 million square feet of net lettable space, seemingly connected and complement the Phase 1 mall. Whilst Phase 1 emphasized a natural leaf concept, Phase 2 expands upon the theme to resemble the bud of a flower. With Phase 1 and Phase 2 combined, IOI City Mall is currently considered the biggest regional mall in Malaysia with a total net lettable area of 2.5 million square feet. The Phase 2 mall has natural light coming through the central glass atrium. Some of the notable features of the mall include a 40,000 square feet exhibition hall, a new cinema concept with IMAX theater, a stylish alfresco dining arcade with a Porto Crochet arcade with a Porto Crochet drop-off zone, and new entertainment centers for children and adults, and the new rooftop sports center and gymnasium. The IOI City Towers are interconnected with the IOI City Mall. They comprise of two 31-story Grade A office towers that incorporated the latest features in sustainability, spaciousness, and facilities. IOI City Towers are green certified with a highly functional and energy efficient design to reduce energy consumption, with versatile floor layout which aims to accommodate the increasingly dynamic workplaces and flexible work patterns. This allows tenants to fully utilize the designated spaces for meeting individual requirements. The hotel, Le Méridien Putrajaya, is also connected to the mall. It offers 353 contemporary guest rooms. The hotel features 2 dining venues and over 40,000 square feet of modern event and meeting space, including a grand ballroom. The construction of a new Moxie Hotel is also underway, and it is almost completed and will be operational early next month. It is designed as a playful, affordable, yet stylish business hotel, consists of 495 rooms, tailored for young and carefree travelers. I'm going to play this video that was taken after the completion of the Phase 2 mall and when the Moxie Hotel was still under construction. This will give you an idea about the scale and the massing of the development. The last project I'm going to share is the Pacific Star Development. This is another integrated project set within a land of 6.04 acres. It comprises of 4 stories of retail, 4 levels of basement of car park, 5 levels of elevated car parks, and 5 towers comprising of office, signature office suites, and service apartments. The building design is contemporary. It aims to achieve a modern, cutting-edge urban campus in a garden setting. The entire site, including the towers, are provided with large greeneries to establish a green city oasis, enhancing the indoor and outdoor spaces, and serve to also soften the visual impact of the podium and towers. Now, I would like to talk a little about my other professional involvement in various organizations. I was really inspired by the spirit of volunteerism and dedication to promote the profession by some senior members, and that started my long involvement with the Malaysian Institute of Architects, PAM. I was elected as the first female president of PAM in 2001, which was more than 20 years ago, after 80 years of PAM's history. This unexpected victory demonstrated that we could achieve our goal with strong commitment and dedication. I remain active and served as past president on council for many years, and I continue to pursue my passion and dream to be able to improve the profession. I was also appointed by the Minister of Works as a member of the Board of Architects Malaysia, which is the regulatory body since 2001, and I remain as an active board member until now. I represent PAM and the board in many government bodies and other agencies, and was involved in developing a few significant policies and regulations, such as the self-regulatory framework that transformed the delivery system. In the last decade, I channeled part of my efforts towards the promotion of the profession at regional and international levels. I started my intensive involvement with Arcasia, which is a regional organization comprising of architectural institutes in Asia, when I took on the task to revamp Arcasia at the request of some members. I was elected as president-elect in 2012 and took office in 2013. I continued to serve as IPP and advisor for many years. I've just been reappointed as advisor for the term 2024 to 2025. Although I was told they were reluctant to accepting a female president, I won the election, and this again demonstrated that the most effective way to change others' perception and doubt is to show your vision and commitment. This is the 16th Arcasia Congress during my second year of presidency, which PAM hosted in 2014. My goal was to rejuvenate and elevate Arcasia as the premium organization. We developed many new programs, which included the rebranding of the Arcasia Awards for Architecture, AAA, establishing the inaugural Architecture Asia Awards for Emerging Architects to promote design excellence and young talents, and restructuring to improve the governance. I'm very passionate about social responsibility and inclusive architecture, and we inaugurated the Arcasia Forum for Social Responsibility and developed the charters during my presidency. My initial involvement with the UIA, the International Union of Architects, was at the commissions and committee levels. I yielded to requests to continue my participations in the UIA governance, and I served as a council member for the term 2017 to 2021. I was persuaded and took on the challenge to run for the positions of Secretary General of the UIA in 2021. I've just completed my 2-year term in July last year. My goal was to unite the architects to make UIA a more inclusive and relevant organization that truly represents the interests of the architects across all the 5 regions, and to propagate our aspiration to promote sustainable and healthy environment. I was also serving the Melbourne University Advisory Board for the Believe campaign to achieve higher learning and education. I have established close ties with the Faculty of Architecture, Building and Planning, and supported their programs, including coordinating the donations that led to the naming of the Malaysian Theatre in the Melbourne School of Design, which is one of my dreams for many years that's been realized. Recognizing the struggles many women architects are facing in the rather gender-biased construction industry, I became a strong proponent of gender equity to empower advancing women. I chaired the committees under both the UIA and PAM and helped drafted the declarations and policies on gender equity in architecture. We will continue with our efforts to migrate beyond gender and to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Collectively, we can all help to make a meaningful difference and create an inclusive world, leaving no one behind. I was often asked, how do I stay abreast in the male-dominated field? And the following are some of the key points which I've shared. I will not go into details, but I would like to echo what Bill Gates said. Life is not fair. Get used to it. The world does not offer a level playing field in every aspect, and so take the challenge as part of life and learn to deal with them. Rather than crying and complaining, love what you do and do great in what you love. I would like to end my presentation by reiterating this. Have a dream, but a dream will only become a reality with passion, commitment, hard work, perseverance, and courage. And be amazing, and be driven by passion, because no matter where you are and what you do, if you have the passion, then success will follow. Congratulations once again to all the shortlisted nominees, and thank you.
Thank you very much to our international juror, architect Tan Peng Ying, for that insightful and interesting presentation on various projects of vast scales and different uses, and also for enlightening us with different unique design concepts, philosophies, and the strategies that have been used. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we now have come to the end of the proceedings of this evening, and in order to conclude this event, I would like to invite architect Sarala Pereira, an award committee member, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Honorary Secretary of the SLIA and the Awards Committee, I am here to express our heartfelt gratitude to the individuals and teams who have contributed significantly to the success of the SLIA Awards for Architecture 2023-2024. Firstly, I extend sincere thanks to all the members who have dedicated their time and efforts to submit outstanding design projects for this year's awards. Your remarkable contribution has added immense value to this initiative, showcasing the talent and innovation within our community. A special thank you to all the shortlisted nominees. Your creativity has shone through, and your outstanding contributions set a standard of excellence that we are proud to celebrate. We express our gratitude to the diligent members of the jury panel, which includes international juror, architect Tan Peng Ying, as well as our local jurors, architect Dulumini Dimel, past president architect Jayantha Pereira, architect Hiranthi Velendava, architect Shayan Kumardas, and architect Sumudu Atukorala, for their time, expertise, and commitment to ensuring a fair and transparent process. The Technical Evaluation Committee deserves a special mention for their meticulous work in evaluating submissions and ensuring the success of the process. Architect Senaka Pereira, Architect Vajira Vikramasinghe, Architect Nilushila Peruma, and Architect Ravindri Pigera. Thank you. We extend our deepest appreciation to our distinguished President, esteemed Council, and past Presidents, and to all our valued members here tonight. Thank you for your unwavering support. Your presence is what makes this event vibrant and impactful. We greatly appreciate the generous support of our event sponsor, Nippon Paint, without whom this event would not have been possible. Your partnership is invaluable. A heartfelt thanks to the incredible team I'm privileged to be a part of, the Awards Committee and the SLIA General Manager, along with all the staff members, for their hard work and coordination, ensuring the seamless organization of every aspect of this event. It's an honor to work alongside each of you. Thank you to our talented young compeer, who added a delightful touch to the proceedings. Last but not least, our gratitude goes to the AV team for their technical expertise and flawless execution that enhanced the overall experience. In conclusion, I extend sincere thanks to everyone involved. Your dedication and support have made this event a true celebration of excellence. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Architect Sarala Pereira, for delivering the vote of thanks. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we now mark the end of this event. So I would like to thank you all for gracing this event, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. I would also like to invite the judges and the council members on stage to get a photograph. And later on, I would also like to invite all the nominee presenters will also be invited after this photograph to take another photograph.